Something strange has been happening around Meghan Markle in Hollywood, and the silence is getting louder than any headline, because one by one, doors that were supposed to open for her have been quietly, and sometimes brutally, slammed shut. The same industry that once looked fascinated by the royal rebel now seems to be keeping its distance, and the question hanging in the air is impossible to ignore: why does it feel like Hollywood keeps rejecting Meghan Markle? Not once, not twice, but again and again and again. Take the moment that insiders still whisper about behind closed studio doors. Meghan and her team were desperately trying to boost attention for her struggling Netflix lifestyle series with Love, Meghan. The strategy sounded simple: bring in a beloved global icon to appear in the show, someone universally loved, someone impossible to ignore. And the name they chose? Dolly Parton, a legend, a cultural treasure, the kind of guest that could instantly transform a struggling show into a viral sensation. But the moment the idea reached Dolly's camp, something unexpected happened. Instead of excitement, there was silence. Then came the answer: a firm rejection. No cameo, no appearance, nothing. Meghan was reportedly furious, even blaming the royal family for somehow influencing the refusal.
Netflix asked her to go onto Meghan's show as ever, and she declined because of brand and reputation damage she could foresee by associating herself with Meghan.
And just like that, the plan collapsed before it even began. Later, Meghan's team tried to soften the embarrassment, claiming Dolly had never been formally invited at all. But Hollywood insiders weren't convinced, because stories like this weren't isolated incidents. They were starting to form a pattern. Then came another moment that raised eyebrows across reality TV circles. During a discussion involving the stars of the Real Housewives franchise, someone floated Meghan Markle's name as a possible addition to the show. It should have been flattering, a glamorous crossover moment. But instead of excitement, the reaction was shock, then rejection. The women didn't hesitate. They made it clear they didn't want Meghan anywhere near the franchise. The message was blunt: bringing Meghan into the group would be chaos, the kind of chaos no one wanted.
No. Oh, you want a house?
Well, I guess they have
What
to be,
about
right?
Meghan Markle?
Oh.
No, we're not.
I'd rather not.
I
don't want
think,
Meghan Markle on our show now.
I think Kate would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I've said
A royal.
We all have a soft spot for her.
Right, yeah, you should probably have like
We all
a
have a
break.
soft
Yeah,
spot.
because she would surprise people.
Yeah.
She's
tough as nails.
And suddenly, the whispers grew louder, because if reality TV stars were distancing themselves from Meghan, what did that say about the rest of Hollywood? Then, February 2025 arrived, and with it came one of the biggest shocks yet. Reports from Page 6 and other outlets revealed something few people expected. The powerhouse talent agency WME had quietly dropped Meghan Markle as a client. For someone trying to build a Hollywood empire, losing representation from one of the industry's biggest agencies wasn't just awkward, it was devastating.
As if Meghan Markle didn't have enough problems, we've now heard that she might have been dropped by her Hollywood agency, WME.
Behind the scenes, insiders began describing the same troubling reputation: difficult, demanding, hard to work with, words that spread fast in an industry built on relationships.
She is difficult, she's too demanding. We heard there was an incident over the holidays that year where people came back, she was demanding this meeting, she was upset that people hadn't been, she wanted decks and plans, and they hadn't been doing them because they were on vacation and spending time with their family, and she had a meltdown. Major dispute with some people, and I guess Ari Emanuel, who is the head honcho over there, was just like, I am done with her.
And suddenly, Hollywood executives were asking uncomfortable questions. If the projects weren't delivering results, if the partnerships kept collapsing, then why keep investing? But the drama didn't stop there, because Meghan and Prince Harry had once believed their Netflix docuseries would dominate Hollywood. When it premiered in 2022, the viewership numbers exploded. Millions tuned in. But insiders say curiosity, not admiration, fueled much of that attention. People weren't necessarily watching because they loved the story. They were watching because they wanted to see the drama unfold.
A lot of what that documentary, Harry and Meghan, was fiction. I mean, they made it up and they lied.
And Meghan reportedly believed those numbers meant awards season glory was coming. Emmy nominations, red carpet recognition, Hollywood validation. But when the nominations were finally announced, the show was nowhere to be found. Completely absent. No nods, no buzz, just silence. Still, Meghan didn't give up. In fact, she took things a step further. The sources say she even attempted to position herself as a potential Emmy judge, a move that shocked many industry insiders who felt she hadn't earned the credibility required for such a role. And when the 2025 Emmys arrived, Meghan and Harry weren't there, not because they skipped the event, because there was no reason for them to attend. No nominations, no recognition, nothing tying them to the ceremony at all. And that's when the whispers turned into something darker, because Hollywood wasn't just ignoring Meghan Markle anymore. It looked like the industry was slowly, deliberately closing ranks. The strange thing about public rejection is that sometimes it doesn't arrive with loud criticism. Sometimes it arrives with something colder, silence. And for Meghan Markle, one of the most uncomfortable silences came on a day that was supposed to be full of celebration. Her 42nd birthday. Meghan reportedly expected the usual wave of royal acknowledgments, warm messages, and public tributes from the British royal family. After all, for years, royal birthdays were marked with posts, statements, and polite gestures that kept the public narrative smooth. But this time, nothing happened. No birthday message, no acknowledgement, no public warmth. The royal family carried on with their day as if nothing special was happening at all. Meanwhile, Meghan's own brand posted a glowing tribute praising her as a founder, a mother, a visionary woman. But from the palace, absolute silence. And in royal circles, silence can sometimes speak louder than words. Then came a global embarrassment that many celebrities fear more than anything else: public rankings of the most disliked celebrities in the world. When the 2025 list was released, it immediately exploded online. And right at the very top of that list sat Meghan Markle. Not second, not third, number one. Even more shocking was the company she was beating. Names like Sean Diddy Combs, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Ellen DeGeneres were all behind her. That revelation alone triggered waves of discussion across media outlets, because topping a list like that doesn't just happen randomly. It usually reflects a shift in public perception, a moment when curiosity turns into criticism and admiration fades into skepticism. But the problems weren't limited to public opinion. Behind the scenes, major corporate partners were starting to rethink their investments. Netflix, once the most powerful platform backing Meghan and Harry's post-royal career, began quietly distancing itself from the Sussex brand. Meghan's lifestyle program With Love, Meghan had already run for 2 seasons and even a holiday special. But when the question of a 3rd season came up, insiders revealed something troubling. Netflix reportedly had no intention of renewing it. Critics had already given the show mixed reviews, and although it had a loyal fan base, it simply didn't deliver the explosive success executives were hoping for. In Hollywood, loyalty rarely beats numbers. Spotify had already shown what happens when expectations aren't met. Meghan's Archetypes podcast launched with enormous hype, celebrity guests, and global promotion. But after the 1st season, the partnership suddenly collapsed. Funding stopped, the project ended, and the message from Spotify was brutally simple: the deal was over. Inside Meghan's own working environment, the rumors were just as unsettling. Former staff members began quietly describing their experiences working with the Sussex team, and many of the accounts shared a similar theme: exhaustion. Some claimed the environment was chaotic. Others suggested the pressure was overwhelming. Employees reportedly left after very short periods, choosing not to return. The most shocking departure came when Josh Kettler, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's chief of staff, resigned after just 3 months in the role. His exit came at the worst possible time, right as the couple was preparing for an international tour in Colombia. For critics watching from the outside, this only reinforced an uncomfortable narrative that working closely with Meghan Markle was becoming increasingly difficult. But Hollywood's social circles delivered another moment that left observers stunned. Meghan and Harry attended Kris Jenner's extravagant 70th birthday celebration, a star-packed event filled with the most influential names in entertainment. Photos were taken throughout the night, and when images from the party began appearing on social media, something unusual happened. Pictures that included Meghan and Harry briefly appeared on Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian's Instagram accounts and then suddenly vanished, deleted. Gone. The internet noticed immediately. Headlines exploded with speculation about whether the removals were accidental or intentional, and the awkwardness didn't end there. During the run of Meghan's podcast, she had reportedly hoped to feature 2 of the biggest stars in the world, Taylor Swift and Beyoncé. Both were seen as dream guests capable of turning the podcast into a cultural moment, but neither of them appeared on the show. Reports suggested that both stars declined the invitation, leaving Meghan without the star power she had hoped would define the series. Then then came one of the most awkward moments during Paris Fashion Week. Meghan attended a Balenciaga event, but reports later revealed she might not have been formally invited at all. According to insiders, she had reached out herself asking if she could attend the show. The situation became even more uncomfortable when she attempted to engage in conversation with designer Kristen Scott during the event. Instead of a warm exchange, she was reportedly ignored, leaving Meghan to quickly turn to another guest nearby as if nothing had happened. And even in smaller moments, the pattern seemed to repeat itself. At a tennis match where Serena Williams was playing, Meghan reportedly tried striking up a conversation with Serena's mother while sitting nearby, but Serena's mother remained focused on the game, offering little acknowledgement. One moment alone might mean nothing. Two could be coincidence. But when the same pattern appears over and over again, it starts looking like something else entirely. Because if Hollywood truly adored Meghan Markle, the doors would be opening wider every year. Instead, more and more of them seem to be quietly closing. And the biggest question still hanging in the air is this: